Happy Saturday. I'm Fox 13 meteorologist Tony Sadiku here with a check on the tropics. And as we approach the peak of the season officially tomorrow, we've got two areas that we're watching. Margot out in the far eastern Atlantic, which isn't going to bother anybody, and Lee, which remains a major hurricane, now approaching the islands of the Caribbean, but it's actually going to move to the north and should steer clear. But there will be impacts along the East Coast. Still too early to tell exactly where it goes. So we'll start with the storm, where on enhanced infrared satellite, it's not looking quite as healthy as it was a couple of days ago. I mean, this thing at one point, a rapidly intensifying hurricane, briefly became a Cat 5, but then wind shear has kind of hampered it a little bit. But still a major Cat 3 as of Saturday morning, with top winds at 115, moving west-northwest at 12. And you can see there the Antilles, there's Puerto Rico, and man, they're going to be glad that this thing isn't headed their way. It should pass safely to the north. Certainly there'll be some impacts in terms of swells and things like that to the south. And still some fluctuations in intensity likely with this storm in the coming days. Hurricane Center forecasts it to weaken to a Cat 2, but then shortly after that, back to a major hurricane 3, 4, and then we'll see what happens after that. What we'll have to watch with this particular storm is the fact that this is going to take some time, right? I mean, we're talking by the end of next week, this is still somewhere over here. It's going to slow down as it moves. Right now, it's steered by high pressure, right? So the steering currents, it's being guided right now by a ridge of high pressure, but then it's going to be picked up by a trough, which is what's going to allow it to be carried to the north. It's also what's going to steer it away from Florida and at least the southeast. And the folks in the northeast are watching this closely, the Canadian Maritimes, places like that, because it's not off the table yet that they're not going to be impacted by this thing. Close consensus in the short term, but then you start to see the divergence in the models. This is the GFS and the European ensembles, and this is not what you want to see, because a lot of these solutions will change the variety of impacts. So the good news with this is still many days. I mean, this is like next weekend and beyond before, you know, that turn and stuff like that. So still plenty of time to watch it, and we will continue to for our friends out there up across the Northeast. Obviously, the further west this tracks, the more impacts they see. They want this to track more east. However, one of these tracks may play into impacts for Bermuda. So still lots of time to watch it, and they will at least have indirect impacts for much of the East Coast with rip currents and high swells. Tropical Storm Margot is the other one. This is a weak tropical storm this morning, top winds at 45. It is expected to strengthen, though. So it's becoming a little bit better organized. The Hurricane Center forecast, while this shouldn't bother anybody, may become a hurricane at some point. And that's about it with that storm. Of course, expected to be a busy wrap up here through the rest of the season. September, October, we know are busy months. Things change, so be sure to keep checking back in. MyFoxHurricane.com is where we keep you posted throughout the season. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.